Hey guys, BikeBlogger here. Memorial Day is upon us. That's a 75mm cannon, actually an anti-tank gun. It's made from scrap metal from World War I, from a cannon. This is actually from World War II. So Memorial Day is upon us. Yeah, anyway, let's get going. Thanks for watching. Let's ride. BikeBlogger here on my way to work. Going to cut through the park today, get a little exercise in, which brings me to topic of the day. Do you train, or I guess exercise, or you know, do a little harder than just exercise maybe on your bike commute to work? Do you incorporate training? Do you, like, you know, do intervals, high intensity training? I did a video on that. Watch the yellow car. I always find it funny when people put spoilers on their cars. And a spoiler on a car is only needed if, you know, you're going 150, 200 miles an hour. So I doubt that little yellow car could go that fast. Woo! We're sailing along, singing a song, enjoying the day. 'Cause hey, I'm bike commuting to work. Summer's upon us. One of the best times of the year. Get to deal with all the crazy drivers on the road. Summer vacation. All the out-of-town people don't know where they're going. Don't know what the speed limit is. Oh boy, it's windy. Woo. I can't tell if I'm going against the wind or I'm going with it or what. Usually when you can't tell, my experience, you're going with the wind. Or it's kind of hitting you at the side. It feels like it's hitting me head on, but I think it would be a little harder if it was hitting me actually head on. Headwinds. Oh, the bicyclist's worst nightmare is a strong headwind with no break in sight. Although I guess it's a good opportunity to get some extra training in. What would you be training for though, right? A bike race maybe? I don't race, but certainly anytime you're doing any sort of exercise and you can incorporate it into your regular day, that's a good thing, right? I guess there is the argument that, well, you'll drive a car to work and back because that saves you time. And I don't know, maybe it does wherever it is you live. And then that gives you extra time when you get home to ride a bike purely for training. I don't encourage you to really train really hard on the road, because those who race on closed courses. And if you are going to train on the road, nice. That rollerblader, his brakes, or his wheels, or whatever. How do you brake when you're rollerblading? I don't even know. I've never rollerbladed before. It's really squeaky though, those brakes. Anyway, I wouldn't recommend training really hard on the open road, especially in a densely populated area. By that I mean getting very aero, getting way down in the drops, real down low, and riding on the road like that. It's good to learn to ride in a more aerodynamic position, but as opposed to a riding on the tops of road bars, like up here, where you can't see my hands, it forces you generally to be in a lot less of an aerodynamic position, but you can see your surroundings all around you a little better. If you're a veteran bike racer, you might be able to see just fine around you, or you think you can, but I still recommend something like a mirror to help you out. Because I know every shoulder check can kind of mess up your aerodynamics. You can look underneath your armpit. That will allow you to maintain, you know, the most amount or the least amount of frontal area, so you can keep that aerodynamic profile going. But you want air passing through your armpits, unless you're really tucked into like a ball, which is the ultimate for aerodynamics. And you got those armpits kind of in really close, like when you're on a TT bike with those, what do you call them, those aero bars or whatever. They're like bullhorn handlebars, but they're in closer to the wheel. Yeah, it does feel like I got a headwind here. The wind's blowing this way, so kind of at a 45-degree angle from the front wheel there, so that way. But that means I'll have a, what you call it, a gust of wind behind me when I turn around, a tailwind, that's what I was looking for. Woo. So you can go kind of fast on these empty trails, but when you come up on people, you gotta really kind of slow down, because you gotta think of other people. Says the guy rocketing up the hill, right? Going 21 miles an hour, and now we're gonna let off the gas and get lazy. Just eat up the watts, rolling down the hill. It's usually best aerodynamically to not pedal when you're going down a steep hill. Just tuck, because then you can maximize your, I mean, you could try to pedal. Some bike racers do crazy things like put their body behind the saddle so they can get down even lower, basically with the rump right above the rear wheel. Dangerous. Only when they're descending though, I think. So, now we're coming up on some people. Slow it down. Kind of like to sing to myself on these multi-use trails. I could scream on your left, but I'd say about 40% of the time when I say on your left and people are walking the same direction as me, they'll move over to the left. You know, it's like, look out, on your left. You know, it's like, oh, move to the left. Depends on the person, depends on how well they hear you. Which can depend on the ambiance, how noisy it is, how much windy it is. You know, we're going 21 again, coming up on some dogs, slow it down. Not gonna get any training done here, are we? It helps if you have a freewheel that makes a noise too. I do not. My cassette is silent, so that has its advantages, I guess, if you're racing, but in a way, but not for safety. Let's get off the trail. Just a circuit. Per usual, the way we encourage ourselves to train here on the BikeBlogger channel is we're always behind schedule. We're always, not always, but sometimes in a mad rush to get to work on time. So how do you train? Do you do, like I said, do you have a, what's your routine or your schedule? Is it every other day you ride your bike, or you ride your bike hard? I absolutely wouldn't recommend, you'll figure it out on your own. I would not recommend riding your bike hard every day, or even really more than 2 days in a row. Even more than just one day, really. I mean, you know, 2 days in a row, I mean. Because you're going to injure yourself. And that's not good. Yeah, you got to keep the mindset, though. Yeah, if you are competitive and you're racing against other people, it'll get in your head, and you'll want to be comparing yourself to other people. That's undoubtable in a race. However, when you're training, think of it like a time trial. It's you, the bike, and the clock. So focus on that. But so yeah, if you do train, what's your training schedule? I'd be curious to know. I don't have one. You know, I'm not a serious cyclist, so I'm more of just really a bike commuter. I mean, that's really what I am. So you're not going to get any first-hand experience tips from me when it comes to racing other people, because that is totally different than riding on the open road with all the rules, the cars, and no clock. You're not right up against other cyclists. Generally, if you ride on the road, generally you don't ride side by side to each other, because that would be considered impeding other traffic. Even though I think that's kind of bogus, those are the rules in some places. You can't take up as much space on the road as a car in terms of multiple bikes. But for safety, safety's always paramount. You can certainly ride in the middle of the lane. You just can't have two bikes in the middle of the lane. Explain that to me. Okay. Go up the hill here. Just a red shirt. See, we're going 17 miles an hour. Up to here. What else? And if you do train, do you have a favorite circuit or route you take either around your house or to work when you're commuting, or to the local store or whatever? Do you purposely, I don't know why you would, but do you purposely add weight to your bike? Like, do you pull a trailer or something? You know, kind of like someone who runs and drags a tire behind them. Do you have a favorite hill you like to conquer over and over and over again? Regarding training routine, like I said, never overtrain. That is, never wear yourself out completely. You will injure yourself. Wait for all these folks. There goes a bicyclist. Okay, they're just gonna keep coming. You don't really want a completely rest day either, though. If you completely rest, that can be bad. But the most times you really actually improve is when you're resting between exercises or, riding. That guy in front of me, he's all kitted out. He's got the skin suit on. Want to hear a funny story? I have some skin suits. I don't wear them anymore. They are very comfortable, but I've also become acclimated just riding with street clothes. I wear a polo, just some, athletic shorts, no compression, no padding. I'm just I found a saddle and a bike fit that works for me, and I don't need the extra padding. However, here's the funny bit. Like I said, I have a couple of pairs of padded cycling shorts, so I just took scissors to one of them. I cut out the pad. What do you call it? A chamo, whatever, I don't know. I cut it out and I zip tied it to the top of my bike saddle. Oops, sorry about that. I think that the school bus had stop signs. I think I should have stopped back there. Oh well. The cyclist in front of me did it. I was kind of thinking about following the cyclist, but it's alright. But yeah, I zip tied it to my bike saddle. And I was gonna see, hey, that's a horrible idea if it rains, but I was gonna see, hey, maybe I could get the benefit of the padding without even wearing the gear, just attaching it to my bike. And honestly, I didn't like it. It might have added a little padding. Keep in mind, these shorts, they didn't have a whole lot of padding, but it probably has something to do with you're not supposed to remove the padding from the shorts and attach them to a fixed position like a saddle. And it's supposed to be right underneath you and moving around when you're moving around. So anyway, I jerry-rigged, unfortunately I have a photo, and I threw away the scraps. I jerry-rigged a bike short padding to my saddle, and I wouldn't recommend it. Especially since those things can run you 30-40 bucks at least. And if you're thinking about it, don't waste your money. Learn from me. In my case, I didn't really care because I was never going to wear them again. And I do have other pairs. Every second counts when you're racing though, so I understand the compression part of it. So you don't have any flappy clothing bits just creating a sail basically against the wind. Because cycling is really at the elite level. It's really all about aerodynamics. Besides, just if you're a really good, everyone's good at one thing generally. Really good climber, really good time trialist. Generally speaking, though, you gotta tuck yourself into a little ball, which is why some, at least I've heard, I hear things, I've heard that some cyclists, when they're racing, they purposely stick their gut out to create a more spherical body shape. You know, it's just a little gut, but you know, like a little bit of a beer belly or whatever. Just stick it out a little bit and into a ball as much as you can, so the air can just hit it and go right over it, rather than get stuck in like a pit, you know, in your little flat tummy or whatever, because you are kind of bent over into an arcing shape. Ah, Kadaka. There's my opening. Yeah. I was gonna go up on the ramp over there, but there's a pedestrian. I would have really scared her, so instead let's just go the wrong way down the street. Why don't we? Yeah. Hold on a second. Yeah, we got more electric scooters. Ain't gonna train on one of those things. Maybe you'll learn to, does it say spin or something? Yeah, spin. Yeah, so another, I learned to balance, but another, let's get on the street. Easy, it's supposed to be one way. Yeah, just another company of electric scooters. I don't know. I don't know if it's a fad or what. I don't know. Kind of off topic. What do you think? Are electric scooters to stay? Are they a fad in the US? I don't know. It was kind of a big deal with all the bike share companies, and then seems like they're getting, at least in some cities like mine, bike share has kind of gone away. It's been replaced by electric scooters, which is sad. Ugh. But that's life. Not everybody can enjoy feeling great. Alright, nobody coming. It does take some hard work though to stay fit, I understand. But I've really always been the same body weight for probably going on 2 decades now. I just really haven't. Part of my problem is I spend so much time doing anaerobic, that's without air, aerobic activity, and I don't do enough weightlifting. Since I'm not a competitive cyclist, you know, like for sport and whatnot, I probably should do more weights. It just kind of becomes a requirement as you get older, because it becomes harder and harder not to lose weight. You have to do the, I guess I should say strength training exercises more as you get older. At least that's what I hear. Guess we'll go this way. Fortunately, I'm still a youngin'. I'm still pretty young, so I don't have that issue right now, but if you don't do something about it when you're younger, or in present day, most people will pay for it when they get older. So, anyway, but like I was saying about training, definitely don't overdo it. I really bring this topic up because I hurt my knee, like I said, doing squats. This was like 2 weeks ago, and I'm sure one, technique, I wasn't really doing it right. But 2, I just never really do it, so. I mean, I got strong-ish leg muscles, but you know, they're only certain muscle groups of the legs based on my riding style. You know, I prefer climbing out of the saddle and a single-speed bike. So I do a lot of exercise on my, I guess my lower leg, but not my upper leg. So I don't do a lot of riding while seated. Partially that's because, you know, hard saddle. I just find it a lot more comfortable to get up a lot more often. People could say, well, that's bike fit. But let this guy go. There he goes. Wanted to make it through there before the other cars came. Actually, we can go up that way. Let's turn around. Oh, there's like a little storm drain curb or whatever right here. We can actually ride this right up. Yeah. And then we can go around this way. Scare all the people. You know. Dun, dun, dun. And there's the UPS store. The UPS store. Where all the UPS trucks go. I don't know, maybe. Well, I really ran over that. Okay, red car. Here we go. I'm gonna go behind here. Never been back here. Always fun to explore new areas. I don't know which way the trucks come in. Possibly from that way. In other words, head on here. So this is kind of one way. Let's get out of here. Said something, unauthorized vehicles will be towed. Okay. Turn. Stop. Go. On our way to work today. Oh yeah, we were going to work today, right? Oh yeah, happy Memorial Day. Memorial Day weekend. Kind of an unofficial start to summer here in the US, when gas prices are pretty high. Thanks, FedEx. Now I'm in a high gear. I'm climbing a steep hill. I guess I should downshift, right? But then my bike's gonna go wah. Oh wait, am I on the lowest gear? I don't even know. Hang on. Oh no. Even BikeBlogger gives up. Alright. I'm worried because I think I'm in the middle of a shift here. Maybe not. Nope. Ugh. I can't do it. I can't do it. Oh, that little old lady, she's probably thinking I'm silly. Alright. Alright, so now I'm on flat ground. What gear am I in? Ah, shucks. I was in the most difficult gear. I was in like my hardest gear, which has a gear ratio of 3, which is not very hard, but from a complete stop up a hill with a grade of, I don't know, maybe somewhere between 5 and 10%, it's kind of difficult. Momentum machine. Gotta keep it moving. Well, I guess that's another thing with training or bicycle racing. If anyone's a bicycle racer or amateur or whatever, give us some tips. What works for you? But yeah, aerodynamics and momentum. You got to. Cyclist came off the sidewalk. You got to keep the. You got to keep the speed going up and down the hills. nice foul park. The park bus. The park bus. Ugh. I don't know why, a long time ago, years ago, got it on video, when I hit one of those storm grates, my tire blew out. I don't think it really had anything specifically to do with the storm grate. It was right there at that intersection, right here to the left. I don't know exactly why it happened, but that was kind of scary. Fortunately, I was braking, and I didn't really hurt myself. However, ever since then, I've never ridden another Continental bicycle tire inner tube. Isn't that a mouthful? I only run Schwalbe, whatever, inner tubes, and I don't run tubeless, but I do run Continental tires on my other bike, simply because I like the look. They got the skin wall effect. Did a video on that, I think. And Schwalbe doesn't have that. But one of the main reasons I'm a big Schwalbe fan is I used to have a bike where I had it equipped with Schwalbe Marathon Supreme tires. I rode that bike and those tires with Schwalbe inner tubes. Extra light too, I think, like the really thin stuff, a little lighter weight, in many of my early videos. And that was for at least a couple years. And I never got a flat tire on that bike. Now the tires were 32 millimeter wide, so the air pressure can be lower without risking punctures. But I was very impressed with Schwalbe Marathon Supreme tires, and I don't even know if they sell them anymore though, because I guess kind of unfortunately, well, I don't really ride a bike with tires wider than 25 millimeter wide anymore. Although I do have my e-bike, and it actually might have Schwalbe Marathon Supreme tires on it. I don't know. Yeah, I have replaced the crank on that bike so I can ride it again. I just actually, you know, honestly, I'm not very interested in riding an e-bike right now. I mean, you know, recovery day, right? Ride the e-bike on a recovery day. When a recovery day really should just be riding a bike, but just not going quite as hard. Oh, this road. Fix the road, people. Fix the road. So if the battery doesn't die on me here, we'll go by the haunted school bus. The haunted school bus. And we'll call it a day. Hey. So yeah. Hope everybody's having a fun, safe holiday here. Memorial Day weekend. Be safe out there. And number one, have fun. Woo. We'll see you next time. Where's that bus? Where's that haunted school bus? Oh no! Oh, it's there. I was gonna say, it really is haunted. It's a ghost. It's not even there anymore. Okay. Okay, guys, come on. There we go. Woo. Ugh. There's the haunted school bus. Abandoned in the back of the abandoned parking lot. Ooh, Whoa! Don't fall.